So today I'm going to show you how I make sunflowers. This design or stitch kind of compilation can be used to make a bunch of different types of flowers, but this is just how I make sunflowers. It's how I make the daisies, all sorts of good stuff like that. So first what I do is I draw circles where I want the flowers to go. So this is going to be the inside of the flower, so that's what I'm going to do right now. For the sunflower, I'm using a dark brown thread. I'm using all 6 strands of it, and then I tie a little knot at the end just to hold it in place when I'm stitching, just because otherwise I know that I'll pull it all the way through on accident. So I'll get started, and I'm just going to stitch these little circles with a satin stitch. So what you do is you just bring the needle up, and then the little knot holds it in place, and then you just stitch across and pull it through nice and tight. And then you just repeat that over and over. Next step in making these sunflowers or daisies or whatever flower you're going to be making using this method is I do the stems next. So I'm using a dark green thread right now. Again, I tied a knot at the end, like you can see, just a little tiny knot. And then I just kind of do, it's kind of similar to satin stitch, but it doesn't have the same like filling pattern. It's just, I don't know, I just kind of go for it. Just bring the needle up, and then you bring the needle down. Just like that. And we'll do the same thing for this little guy over here. And the stems might not be super visible at all points, but I like to just have them there just because then you don't have to worry about trying to make them visible if you want them to be seen. Like, they're already there and you don't have to worry about it. So, yep, just nice and easy. Just like that. And you want to try to make them nice and tight, just so they don't get too loose. But see, ta-da, stems are done. And that's how you just do those. It's super easy, it's not too difficult to do those, just pretty simple stitches. So the part that comes next for these flowers is actually adding what actually makes them flowers, and that's the petals. So I'm going to start over here with this flower, and this stitch is going to be a little bit more complicated. It's not as easy. It's called the lazy daisy stitch, and I will be doing another tutorial on this one just to kind of give you more detail on how to do this one. But what you do is you just bring the thread up, you're going to pull it tight, keep it nice and tight there. You're going to go right back down right next to or in the same hole that you already poked the needle through, and you're just going to keep holding this tight, and you're going to pull this through and just hold this until you get a little loop just like this here. And then you're going to bring the needle back up where you want the petal to end. So however long you want your petals, that's where you're going to pull the needle up. And you're going to put it right through the little loop here, right in the middle. And you're going to continue to pull the loop tight because you don't want it to get too loose because then it makes this stitch look funky. So you're just going to pull this up and then pull this part tight, and you're just going to pull, and then you've got a nice little petal. And if you need to tighten it anymore, you just pull this part up just like this and then back down, and it'll tighten it a little bit more for you. To finish it off, then you're going to take this piece, you're going to just bring the needle right back down into that same hole just to create, this is going to be kind of like a second little mini loop. And you're just going to pull that down nice and tight right there, and then you've got a cute little petal. And then we're just going to repeat that over and over and over until we get a sunflower. One thing I use to try to make sure that all the petals stay the same length is I try to go in quarters or something like that similar, just to make it easier for me to keep track of what length I want for them, because sometimes I can get distracted and do them too long or too short. So we're going to just do the same thing here. So I pulled the needle up, put the needle back through. Now I've got this loop, I'm pulling it tight. Just going to hold this right here, and then I'm going to come right here because that's about the same length, and just pulling that tight, Gonna pull this thread up just like this, nice and tight, and just like that, and we are solid. Perfect. See, this one is a little bit longer than this one, but it's not too bad. They don't have to all be the exact same length. I'm just kind of like a perfectionist and I want them to be all the same length, so that's just me dealing with that. So I'll just keep showing you how to do this over and over again. So you pull it up, pull it tight, put the needle back down in, keep the loop tight, pull the thread up through the loop, keep it nice and tight there, and then you're just gonna put the needle back down in right there. Hopefully this makes sense, what I'm doing here. Okay, and we're just gonna keep repeating this process. And daisies. I just continue to do the lazy daisy stitch around and around and around and just keep going. Yeah, so this is just a little mini sunflower bouquet. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments or send me a message.